Hi, it's Daniel and Tiffany with Rosenbaum Realty Group. We are talking about what is the most common thing that people miss when analyzing properties. I have so many lists of wholesalers that they just send me deals. They send me their list of what's available. They send it out as a blast. They say, here's what we got available. And sometimes they'll do one-offs and they'll say, hey, here's this deal. And they'll tell me the numbers and they'll tell me certain things about it. And then I'll come back and I'll question them and I'll question the numbers and say, well, where are you getting this number from? And I'll ask them, hey, does it include these two things? And these are the two things that I see missed almost all the time, okay? First off is, does it include a management fee for a long-term buy and hold property? We focus on long-term buy and hold. Does it have a management fee? Okay, we always factor in 8% for a management fee. Second thing, does it factor any budget for maintenance? Okay. And half the time they don't have anything for maintenance and they don't have anything for a management fee. So they'll say, hey, cap rate is X, it's 6%, 7%, but they don't even have that factored in. So it's like, it ends up being whatever they're stating or claiming is the cap rate. It's actually 2 or 3 points below that when you actually factor in other fees. This is on top of course, you want to have your actual expenses of what the property tax is, what the insurance is, and what are other expenses of vacancy, right? Market vacancy, we usually, these days we run between 5 and 10% vacancy. You want to factor in a number in there, 7, 8%, somewhere in there, depending on what the actual market vacancy is.
So like when we got into real estate, we factored in 25%.
Hyper conservative.
We were,
That's not typical,
but not only that, back then it was high vacancy.
It was.
So you kind of need to know the vacancy in the market, because if you go to Tucson, you're closer to 10%. If you're analyzing properties at 5, but the market's 10, then you're way off, and you're going to be hurt by that. So you need to know a little bit about the market and make sure you're analyzing a property correctly. Because if I go in and I say, oh, I can get this property for 2% vacancy, but in the market you're running 5 to 10. Then you're going to be hurt at the end of the day. I was on a group, and one guy said, hey, I got this property for $150,000, and this is the rent. He's like, is it a good deal? And I'm like, I need a lot more information about this property to figure out if it's a good deal. Because like you said, if you're not running maintenance, and depending on what year it was built, will determine the maintenance factor. Because if it's a brand new build, you might only need 5% in there. But if it's a C-class or 1980s, you're gonna need a lot more. You might be 15 to 20%, depending on the build, the structure of it. So you need to know a little bit about that, because maintenance can drain you and kill you if you're not up on top of what it could cost to take care of this building. And if you defer maintenance, then you're gonna have a dilapidated building that's gonna cost you a lot more in the future. So all these things are important. Like you said, one thing you gotta realize, if it's a multifamily and you look at landscaping, does it have a pool? All these factors determine what to make an analysis on the property.
Absolutely. It's always better to be more conservative than otherwise. For example, if the actual vacancy, the average market vacancy is 5%, but you're factoring in 10%, that's always a better approach, to be more conservative.
So what's interesting about it, we are very conservative. Also because, and when I'm dealing with the clients and things like that, we will never tell them to buy a property unless we buy it ourselves. And the reason being, if you look at Ryan Pineda, and there's another guy in Phoenix right now that have lost a lot of money over the market in the last little bit, because they bought properties thinking they would flip it or thinking that they'd get more rent. Now, you can do that, but when that market flips, you're gonna be hurting, because when the market flipped, they started losing a lot of money on their real estate, because all of a sudden rents are flatlining, properties aren't as worth as much. So that's one reason why we're conservative, because we want to make sure at the end of the day, we make money, the owners make money, it's a triple win. That is our core value, our mission statement. We want a triple win for everybody.
Locally here in the Phoenix market, with a lot of the syndicators for multifamily, they were way over leveraged, had hardly any equity, and now these deals aren't even worth the loans on them.
Nope.
And they're upside down in them. So unfortunately, it's some of those people have been caught with the market turning, and with cap rates going up, values coming down, the prices coming down, and so they've lost a lot of equity, a lot of money with their clients and their syndications. It's unfortunate. It
is very unfortunate, but that's why we've always been conservative. We've always felt that it's better to be conservative than over leveraged. Because at the end of the day, if anything goes sideways, you're going to lose money on that deal if you're over leveraged.
Absolutely.